tell us a little bit now about this collaboration between O'Halloran and Schedel.
Yes, Max Schedel.
This is with a K-bow.
Yes, yeah.
Tell us what that is.
So again, while Spencer takes the technology and so he takes again an instrument that is quite established and combines it with this really novel technique that is for the reason of enhancing and hybridizing the acoustic sound of the violin, creating these new textures that are pretty much actually quite unheard, because the technique is actually still under development. You know, it's as I said, it's a commercial technique, but it's in the experimental stage, so to speak. So he is very much involved in the creation, in the design of the technology. The collaboration between Schedel and O'Halloran takes a different approach. They take musical technologies, and as you mentioned, there's a K-bow, which is Keith Macmillan sensor embedded bow, cello bow, and Zeta violin, Zeta cello, and there's a narration and video. So these are elements that are pretty much designed by other people or have been explored, narration, video techniques, etc. So their contribution is how, what can we do with all these bits that are presented to us, these technologies, and create new context. What binds them together is actually Pauline Oliveira's deep listening and the workshops. This is where they met in 2005. And the idea of meditation and gaining awareness about the sounds and the world, the sonic world around us. So for them, the idea of memory and imagination is expanding the imagination is pretty important. It's going to be pretty interesting. This is again a premiere of the piece, so I have not had an opportunity to see the whole work. But from the previous projects that they have done, this was the reason why I approached them, because I think that's a pretty exciting. I saw Sarah's individual pieces.
Tell me, how is it that they collaborate? How do they write a piece together?
They do, and this is again something perhaps that could have not been done 15 years ago. They work via internet.
Well, it was certainly done in the Soviet era by committees of composers.
Oh, yes.
But the idea of writing in pairs or in groups, how do they do that?
Right. From what I understand, they have a general platform, and the general platform of the expression is the meditation. And so there is much communication over emails and Skype, and the physical meeting actually happens towards the end. It actually happened 2 weeks ago when Mac came to Charlottesville, Virginia, and they worked together on the piece. And this is a very good question, because one asks about the authorship. Who does what? And the way how they describe their collaboration is that it is very spontaneous, and it's a result of interactions that are improvisatory, and they take shape through the process of polishing and finding sharpening the structures. So it's very much of it's not, I would say, lyricist slash music writer for songs, for example. They're very much coherent the relationship. The boundaries are defined by the fact that Sarah is the narrator and operates the video, and Max Schedel plays the Zeta cello and operates the K-bow controller. So I think this is what they bring to the table, and find musical solutions through interacting together.
So tell us, what is a K-bow controller and Zeta cello?
K-bow controller looks like a regular cello bow, basically. It is embedded with sensors that can detect, for example, the tilt of the bow, the position of the bow, the pressure of the bow. There are 8 different sensor technologies. I'm sure there are other that I do not even, you know.
Did you talk about the speed of the bow?
Speed of the bow, yeah. The position, speed, pressure, tilt, and I guess actually with the tilt you have a you know, X, Y, Z.
Right.
There's a number of components. So what this does is it gives you an incredible control, because this data is sent via Bluetooth technology to the computer as a stream of numbers, and you can decide what you do with this, how you map the stream of numbers to musical parameters. Is the position of the bow on the string going to control the dynamics or the pitch of, let's say, the voice, the narration, or some sort of a synthesized sound, you know? And so that's, the bow actually can, this is the fascinating part about the technology, can be used without the cello. Because truly, when you connect the bow via Bluetooth, it will detect the movement, whether you are striking the string or not, you know? You can actually use your finger if you want to detect the pressure, you know, if there is no string. But then Meg uses the Zeta cello, so there is actually a sound of the cello, albeit electronic, involved in the composition.
So the cello itself is also an electronic instrument.
Yes.
How does that work? It's not just a regular cello that has a pickup on it. It's a cello that has sensors on it.
No, it has a pickup. Yeah, that's the cello itself doesn't have, you know, any embedded technologies. This is maybe I could imagine maybe 10-15-year-old technology that was developed mostly for the musician who travel, and it's a very compact instrument. And again, you can actually send the data, you know, so you get the acoustic sounds of the strings, but you also can get the MIDI data out of the instruments. We can use that to control other parameters.
Another element.
Exactly. Let's say in the video, you know, controlling the color saturation or movement of the.
I see.